If you wouldn't mind, Mr. Holmes, could you explain it to me?
As I informed you on our way here, Patrick Cairns is the murderer of Black Peter.
Why bring me here? Wouldn't it be better if we were out looking for him?
That would be futile, as he will be with us in approximately 12 seconds.
Oh, well, if this is your idea of humour...
No, I just heard the front door. Prepare yourself.
Good day, gentlemen. A young lad gave me a note from Captain Ahab. Am I at the right address? Is he here?
Indeed, it is the correct address. But in place of your captain, may I present to you Inspector Lestrade of Scotland Yard?
That means...
It means, my friend, that you are arrested for the murder of Black Peter.
What? What? A trap? You think you can take me?
Here now. We'll have none of that.
And I say that we will.
Lestrade, are you all right? Are you able to stand?
Oh, my jaw. Gore. You took me by surprise, Mr. Holmes. Otherwise, you would have seen what I'm capable of. Oh.
Yes, he was lucky.
But you got him.
It was remarkably easy. He lost his balance after he struck you.
And you practice boxing, I know. You must have hit him hard. Our fellow is knocked out.
We should call for a police cab and then take you to the hospital.
Yes, well, no need for a hospital. I would prefer to keep this between us. You know.
Of course, Inspector. The case is closed. The case is solved. I am now ready to present the guilty party.
So tell me, who killed Black Peter?
It was John Nelligan, Inspector.
I thought as much, but I failed to see his motive.
Revenge, Inspector. Black Peter possessed the bond certificates that had belonged to Nelligan's father, and young Nelligan wished to retrieve them.
Well then, I'll arrest this Nelligan. I don't fancy his chances of getting out of prison after this.
I will accompany you, Inspector. You are guilty of the murder of Black Peter. Confess now, and your punishment may be more merciful.
No, I didn't kill him.
Your motive? The valuable securities that Peter Carey stole from your father. Carey refused to return the bond certificates, and then he threatened you. You were afraid, and in your panic, you took the harpoon and made your lucky throw.
But that's not true.
You're a liar, Mr. Nelligan. It's all over now.
The case is resolved, Inspector. I shall return to Baker Street.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. Goodbye for now.
The case is solved. I am now ready to present the guilty party.
So tell me, who killed Black Peter?
It was John Nelligan, Inspector.
I thought as much, but I failed to see his motive.
Revenge, Inspector. Black Peter possessed the bond certificates that had belonged to Nelligan's father, and young Nelligan wished to retrieve them.
Well then, I'll arrest this Nelligan. I don't fancy his chances of getting out of prison after this.
I will accompany you, Inspector. John Nelligan, it was you who killed Black Peter. You attempted to convince him to return the bond certificates, and you threatened to call the police. Peter Carey was drunk. He drew his knife. In panic, you took the harpoon and made your lucky throw in self-defense. Put that in your report, Lestrade.
No, I didn't kill anyone. You have it all wrong.
You better thank Mr. Holmes for saving your neck, Nelligan.
The case is resolved, Inspector. I shall return to Baker Street.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. Goodbye for now.
The case is solved. I am now ready to present the guilty party.
So tell me, who killed Black Peter?
It was Liam Hurtley.
That doesn't surprise me. I've never seen a guiltier-looking fellow.
He was in love with Judith Carey. It caused a conflict that proved fatal for her husband.
I see. Come on now, let us confront him.
Liam Hurtley, you are formally accused of the murder of Peter Carey. We are aware that you were in love with Carey's wife. He was a violent and irascible man. He needed to be eliminated. You had no qualms.
But that's absurd. I'm innocent.
Well, we caught you, lad.
The case is resolved, Inspector. I shall return to Baker Street.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. Goodbye for now.
The case is solved.
So tell me, who killed Black...
It was Liam Hurtley.
That doesn't...
He was in love with Judith.
I see. Come on.
Liam Hurtley, it was you who killed Black Peter. He learned of your relationship with his wife, and he asked that you meet him to share in a drink. Then began the quarrel. He drew his knife, and in self-defense, you took up the harpoon. Lestrade, please put that in your report.
I deny everything. You have no proof.
Calm down and thank your stars that Mr. Holmes just saved your neck.
The case is resolved.
Very well, Mr. Holmes.
The case is solved.
So tell me,
There are two culprits, Inspector, Nelligan and Hurtley.
what? Well, I would never have guessed, Mr. Holmes. They are a rotten pair, though.
It was a combination of two motives, culminating in one crime.
What were their motives?
The first was revenge. Black Peter possessed the bond certificates that had belonged to Nelligan's father, and young Nelligan wished to retrieve them.
And the second?
The second was a crime of passion. Liam Hurtley was in love with Black Peter's wife, and this caused a conflict between him and Carey.
Well, well, well. Makes sense, Mr. Holmes.
I suggest that you organize a small confrontation between the two, just to confirm my accusations.
That's a good idea, Mr. Holmes. I'll talk to these fellows. Join me in the interrogation room. Gentlemen, we know everything about your association to kill Black Peter. Admit that you planned it together.
Our association? I don't even know this man.
You needed to kill Peter Carey. There had to be two of you there.
Ridiculous. I'm innocent.
All that remains is to determine the level of guilt. Which one of you is the initiator in this case?
But I just told you I've never seen this man before.
It's him. He's the culprit. He was forcing me. He threatened me. He's the mastermind behind it all.
Shut up. You're a lunatic.
Well, it all seems very clear, don't you think, Mr. Holmes?
Inspector, I believe that Nelligan is the true culprit. Hurtley was his accomplice, blinded by his love for Peter's wife.
You've got it wrong. It isn't true.
That's right. I confess.
Well, young man, it turns out you are the gang leader. I don't fancy your chances now.
The case is resolved in...
Very well, Mr. Holmes.
The case...
So tell me,
There are...
what? Well,
It was a combination.
what were their motives?
The first was revenge.
And
The second was a crime of passion.
well, well,
I suggest that you organize a small...
that's a good idea. Gentlemen, we know everything about your association to...
Our association?
You needed to kill Peter Carey.
Ridiculous.
All that remains is to determine...
But I just told you I've never seen this...
It's him. He's the culprit. He was forcing me. He threatened me. He's the mastermind behind it all.
Shut up. You're a lunatic.
Well, it all seems very clear, don't you think, Mr. Holmes?
Both are guilty, of course, but I believe that Hurtley was the initiator of the crime.
It's ridiculous. Why would I need the help of this weakling?
You wanted to be rid of the man who was terrorizing his wife and who prevented the two of you from being together. Young Nelligan was just following his lead.
You are wrong. I have nothing whatsoever to do with this.
You'll explain that to the judge.
The case is resolved.
Very well.
Then the case is solved, Holmes. What do you intend to do?
Well, I shall require assistance for the arrests. There were accomplices, parties without any trouble, but it will be a long and drawn-out process, and possibly with some compromise that will be to Mycroft's benefit. But I think I'd prefer to give Mycroft a chance. We should overlook our personal differences on this occasion.
Let us go home, then. Then the case is solved, Holmes. What do you intend to do?
Well, I shall require assistance for the arrests. There were accomplices.
Ah, but I know that...
On the one hand, we have Mycroft and his but it will be a long and drawn-out process, and possibly with some... Our other option is the local constabulary. The problem we have there is that, all the same, I think that...
Let us go home, then. Then the case is solved, Holmes.
Well...
Ah, but I...
On the one... The problem... Our other option... But I...
Let us go home, then. Then the case is...
Well... Yes.
Well, all right.
Watson, we know that the Barcazas Company directors were trapped under the collapsed mines, along with the train and Robinson's prototype. But we still need to corner the guilty party.
But how do you intend to prove... Oh, no. Please don't tell me we have to dig out the mines.
Huh.
Holmes, I had to do it.
It is all right, Watson. He got what he deserved.
Oh my God! I thought I was a dead man.
You shouldn't be so glad about it. You'll be up before the judge.
Your testimony will be of great importance to the investigation. I would remind you that your cooperation will be the best way to ease your sentence.
After I returned from Afghanistan, I vowed never to take another human life.
Watson, you did in fact save a life. You should focus on that. Now come, there is still much to do.
Then...
Gentlemen, you are under arrest.
Caramba! You traitor! You double-crossed me!
How dreadful. 2 dead bodies. What a terrible ending to such a great case.
There, my dear fellow. It is all right. You did your best.
Then the case is solved, Holmes.
Well, I shall require...
Ah, but I know...
On the one hand, but it will be our other option. The problem we have there, all the same, I think that I prefer the...
Let us go home, then.
No, I did not say that we had finished here yet.
Well, all right. What did I miss?
Nothing. I only want to stop our dear Mr. Robinson before he realizes we have cornered him. Let us go. Mr. Robinson, we must ask you to remain here until the police arrive.
The police? But why?
You are one of the suspects in our case of the vanished train, which, by the way, involves the death of all its passengers.
What? Is this a joke?
I can assure you that it is not.
This is outrageous. You don't know who you're dealing with. I am an influential man, and you shall regret this.
We know perfectly well who you are. We also know where the train is. The police shall be happy to find it. And as for your exclusive sales contracts...
I'm feeling rather uncomfortable. Why have I been put into these cuffs?
I fear that you had better get used to them, Mr. Blinkhorn. They are your reward for the murder of Sir Rodney Bentcliffe.
What? No, that's a lie.
It is regrettable, for you are a talented archaeologist. I will request that you are placed in a prison where you are unable to dig an escape tunnel. That is, of course, if they decide that you shall live.
You...
The consulting detective who salutes your intelligence in performing the perfect crime, yes, but also the gentleman who detests your motivation.
You know nothing.
You wish to be the one who would reveal this to the world.
Is that the golden knife? How...
I also like to dig, you see. I only followed your trail. Such a pity that there is always someone willing to steal your credit, wouldn't you say? And there was the chance of a lifetime. You had to take it. It was not to be shared. But now I am here, and there is no one who will stop the tread of justice, Mr. Blinkhorn. Goodbye.
I'm feeling rather uncomfortable. Why have I been put into these cuffs?
Mr. Garrow, the game is up. I see straight through you.
You see straight... What?
You have a decided talent in mind manipulation. We all believed your comedy. The medication almost tricked me, I'll admit, but all of it was fake. The hallucinations, the hysteria. Mr. Garrow, you are a dangerous psychopath and a clever murderer. The method by which you disposed of the crime weapon...
Oh my God! I killed him!
It is no use to deny it. I despise cowardice in any form.
What will you do with me?
You will be sent to a medical institute, where you will receive the best treatment to facilitate your full rehabilitation.
What the good Dr. Watson is trying to say is, life seclusion in a lunatic asylum awaits you.
I would rather be dead.
That is your choice. Mr. Garrow, allow me to introduce you to Dr. Watson.
Mr. Garrow, please do not be alarmed. We only wish to help you. You were under an intolerable stress, but it's over now.
What?
I can attest that your medication affected your judgment. You will not recall, but it caused you to temporarily lose control.
Did I? Are you saying I killed Sir Rodney?
I am afraid so. For as my doctor will persist in reminding me every single day, drugs can be harmful. You developed a malevolent obsession with Sir Rodney. You believed him to be unworthy, sacrilegious.
Oh,
Do not distress yourself. Prison is clearly not a suitable environment for you.
what is my environment then?
You're suffering from an acute form of melancholia, but you can and will be cured. All you need is rest and detoxification. I will take care of every detail.
Mr. Garrow, allow me to introduce you to Dr. Watson.
Mr. Garrow,
What?
I can...
Did I? Are you saying I killed Sir Rodney?
I am afraid so. For as my doctor will persist, you developed a malevolent obsession with Sir Rodney. You believed him to be unworthy, sacrilegious.
Oh,
Do not distress yourself.
what is...
You're suffering...
Why did you bring me here? I saw that you released the others.
Sir Gregory, I would ask that you listen carefully to what I'm intending to reveal to Inspector Lestrade. You murdered Sir Rodney Bentcliffe in cold blood, and you did it for money.
What? No, that's not true.
I am afraid that it is. The ingenious ghost weapon that you used only served to prove the premeditation.
You're insane.
It was a spectacular felony, one that intrigued the police and encouraged the press. Scandal is an excellent means of bringing the public's attention to your baths. And eventually, of course, it brought me too.
You have it all wrong.
Well, I didn't expect you to possess much in the way of courage. May you be a fraction more inspired before you meet the hangman. Farewell, Sir Gregory.
Why did you bring me here? I saw you release the others.
Strictly between you and me, Sir Gregory, I admit that you played a masterstroke with your ghost weapon. I know that you killed Sir Rodney Bentcliffe.
What? Nonsense! How dare you?
That is not to say I support the crime. However, you are safe with me.
You? I don't understand.
The police shall hear my version of the facts, the one that shall reveal Sir Rodney's true nature. He was a genuine adversary, was he not, Sir Gregory? He was corrupt.
Well, he certainly was. But I never did such a...
Would you rather I change my mind? I trust that you will preserve the tranquility of these baths in the future, Sir Gregory.
I don't know what to say, Mr. Holmes.
Lestrade, if I might have a word with you, please.
But Holmes, how can you be certain that we'll find Miss White here?
It is obvious, Watson. Just use your brain.
I am using it. I do use it.
Now that the rope has tightened around Martin Hamish, Miss White must act to erase all traces of her implication. After the suicide of her accomplice, there is one final trace remaining, the deadly plants of the Divine Syndicate. She will be there.
Very good. Shall we go?
Just one moment. Now listen to me, Watson. I shall see her alone. You will conceal yourself behind her, quietly.
Whatever are you planning?
Nothing spectacular. The impulses of women have always been a mystery to me. But she is a bold one, and so we must be cautious.
All right. You can count on me, Holmes.
Mr. Holmes, good day to you.
You do not seem surprised, Miss White.
Well, I was expecting you.
Not for too long, I believe. So please tell me, as it is still unclear, who planned the murder? Was it you?
You were wrong, Mr. Holmes.
It was Martin Hamish, then. You managed to convince him to take on a more prominent role.
You could not be further from the truth.
You think that you can fool me?
You don't care what I think.
I am not blaming you, Miss White. You are a young and brilliant woman, trapped in a dull and hostile world. Life has never been easy, men in particular.
You... It is hopeless.
Indeed. Well, it may be true that I cannot yet change the world, but I can spare your life.
My life. There is nothing left to save. I have lost everything. Do you hear me? Everything! And you were just like all the others. You would abuse and take advantage of a vulnerable woman.
I hardly think so. Now just listen to me.
I've tried so hard, but I have had enough.
Miss White, no! Well done, Watson. She was not faking.
Miss White, you have no right to take your own life.
Dr. Watson? Did you just save me? Or worse?
I beg you not to do this, Miss White.
Don't come any closer.
This is tragic, Holmes.
Are you able to do anything?
I'm afraid not. The poison has been fulgurating. Her heart stopped instantly, poor child.
What happened, Inspector?
It's all over now, lad. There is no use denying it. We know that you murdered your father. Patricide by plant poisoning. Very alliterative.
What? You're mad. I didn't do it. I don't know anything about botany. No!
It was Albert who assisted Martin Hamish with the murder of his father, Montague Dunn, an act of desperation to end years of misery and humiliation.
Poor boy. You're right, Holmes. He'll live the rest of his life with the...
And that is enough. The case is closed, Watson. We can say officially that Martin Hamish... Inspector, the case can be closed. Martin Hamish operated alone. He was meticulous in his planning, down to the smallest detail. And yet, we arrived at the truth.
Well, I must thank you once again, Mr. Holmes. Without you, it would not have been possible.
If pushing a man to his suicide seems fair to you, Lestrade, then we are even.
Mr. Holmes, you did what was needed
to not appear in this inquiry. I thank you for your discretion, Lestrade. Inspector, the case... He was meticulous in his plan.
Well, I must thank you once again, Mr.
Without me, you would have escaped all the criticism and blame that no doubt you will be subjected to.
I know, Mr. Holmes, that you did what was needed
to solve a case once again. I thank you for your discretion, Lestrade. Green Grand Mystic, we have excellent news for you. Please come with us.
Praise the all-holy sap for having spiritually pollinated us. Where are we going?
We found your plants.
Is that true? And where are they?
They're at Scotland Yard. Please come with us to identify them, so that you may take them back.
Yes, I will come. I am excited to retrieve them.
Green Grand Mystic, we have excellent news for you. Please come with us.
Praise the all-holy...
To a hospital, Green Grand Mystic. We know what you did. Do not worry, you'll be treated well.
What? What are you talking about? A mistake over some plants? You are the ones who should be treated, you raging fools.
No, we are speaking of an altogether more serious crime.
I do not understand, and I refuse to move. And I suggest that you do not force me. I have a lot of influential followers. You should believe me.
Holmes, I could write a letter of recommendation to a special institution. I know the director there. But, as the mystic has said, his sect is powerful. And I'm not sure if I could be influential enough.
Well, with your writing talent and my persuasion, we can try our best to find a place for him. That is all we can do.
What happened, Inspector?
It's all over now, lad. There is no use denying it. We know that you murdered your father. Patricide by plant poisoning. Very alliterative.
What? You're mad. I didn't do it. I don't know anything about botany. No!
It was Albert who caused the death of his father. It was an act of desperation to end years of misery and humiliation.
Poor boy. You're right, Holmes. He was also a victim. He'll live the rest of his life with the death of his father on his conscience.
And that is enough. The case is closed, Watson. Officially, Montague Dunn died of a heart attack. Miss Margaret White, We are in possession of sufficient evidence to accuse you of the murder of Montague Dunn.
Gentlemen, you are wrong, and it will be easy to prove my innocence.
Miss Margaret White, a murderer? I cannot believe it.
Oh, do pull yourself together, Watson.
Oh, such a brilliant young woman, and so vulnerable. Did she really have a choice?
Society would condemn her, but she could walk free.
But what should we say to the police?
Why, nothing at all. Montague Dunn officially died of a heart attack. The case is closed. Charles Foley, you were a witness to a double murder. You were standing next to Vercotti when Butler fired at your accomplice. The jeweler missed him, but they proceeded to kill each other with simultaneous shots. Even if your intention was to retrieve the stolen treasure, you did not intend to kill. I shall inform Inspector Lestrade of that fact, so your sentence should be the lighter.
You are a fine gentleman, with your fake pity.
I do what I think is right. It is never due to pity. Farewell, Foley. I shall leave now, Watson. Gentlemen, please take our friends here into custody.
Where are you going?
I have unfinished business. I'll see you at Baker Street.
Be careful.
Good evening, gentlemen. That is of no importance.
So you can stop us from carrying them out?
Eventually, yes.
Hey.
I'm listening.
We are a group known as the Merry Men. We are the men who've already lost every... We are ruined shopkeepers. We were forced out from our homes and thrown onto the laws that were set out by our government. We are not only from the British Empire, but men we are still. For those powers that be had done their best. The fear advised us to keep our bankers and politicians, and they push us to compete between... But in the end, we should not fear them. The time has come for our group to... We are going to blow up the London stock. They're only papers, after...
That is a radical...
Chaos! They will be able to work for themselves.
What you are intending to do...
How do you see justice, then? And how many lords do you see... Our masters, will you let us do...
When the law serves only the few, it can no longer be trusted. Every man is equal, and he has a right to choose his own way. I shall not stop you.
So, you're interested in Russian literature?
Quite, lately.
Really? I tried reading it
Yes, Doctor. It's about intelligence. Sherlock, I vaguely recall one of the lines. Sometimes it takes something more than intelligence to act intelligently. There were also a few words along the lines of, pain and suffering are always inevitable for a large intelligence and a deep heart. Tell me, Doctor, does my...
Not that I know of.
Because you see, Doctor, behind all of his masquerade,
Well, I'm sure that...
his love and his duty that... I should leave now. Sherlock, Dr. Watson.
Holmes, what just happened? What was that?
The start of a new world. Anything in the post, Watson? Any clients worthy of our attention?
Only a second reminder from Mrs.
Oh, I don't...
Holmes, the lady who will be moved...
Wait. What? A lady? You committed a terrible crime, Leighton Chapman. You killed 2 people with the intention of obtaining a set of valuable antiques.
What? That's a mistake. I didn't do it.
However, your brother Wiggins came to me. He needs you as much as you need him. I have faith...
Mr. Holmes has convinced me to ease your sentence.
Mr. O.
So, Mr. Chapman, you committed a murder with only one purpose, to obtain a set of valuable antiques.
What?
The only question that remains, where is the missing ring?
I don't know. I didn't do it.
You are a clever one. Do you think that this secret will spare you the gallows? Or prison for life?
Leighton Chapman, a long-held grudge against your acquaintance Brian Vercotti led to the dreadful murder in Half Moon Street. You killed Brian Vercotti and his companion Kenneth Butler with cold single-mindedness. The law will not tolerate that.
No, it's not true. I'm innocent.
It's all over now, lad. The clues speak for themselves. Now you'll have to face up to justice.
Mr. Holmes, but you promised to save him.
Leighton Chapman, you did commit a double murder. However, your brother Wiggins came to me. He needs you as much as you need him. I have faith that you will not err again, so I have decided that you shall avoid a harsher fate.
But no, it didn't happen like that.
We have solid evidence, Chapman. You cannot deny it. A crime is a crime, but Mr. Holmes has convinced us to ease your sentence. Don't make us regret it.
Mr. Holmes,